Ooh, bop. Hey Nathan, you beat the Elite Four yet?
No.
You get all the 8 badges yet?
No.
You see this guy yet?
No.
You see this bear yet?
No.
You find the Master Sword yet?
That's in that game?
Goku?
No, Goku.
Well, I have. So I guess that makes me your rival.
For better or worse, Gen 3 did a lot to shake up the typical Pokemon formula. Pokemon designs, double battles, secret bases, surfing, and surfing. Also among those changes was multiple rivals. One was essentially the protagonist of the opposite gender that you chose in the beginning. The other rival was met a little later into the game. His name is Wally. When you meet him in Petalburg, he is a sickly child with no Pokemon. In fact, you have to teach him how to catch his first Pokemon, a Ralts. Later on, Wally gets stronger and has to deal with his uncle not allowing him to become a trainer because of his disease. Finally, Wally runs away from home and challenges you before you take on the Elite Four. He's got a neat little character arc, and just look at that little asthmatic guy. He's adorable. How could you not like him?
As far as character arcs go, N has the mother load. He was an orphan and essentially raised by Pokemon. Sometime after living in the woods, the leader of Team Plasma, Getsis, adopts him and rears him to be the king of Team Plasma. While growing up, N was only introduced to hurt Pokemon. Thusly, he formed a warped view of how people in Pokemon exist. N's goal is to awaken the legendary dragons of Unova and create a world for Pokemon to live in away from humans and their abuse. N is a cool rival because he's different from all the others that came before him. Firstly, he only uses Pokemon native to the area you battle him in. Secondly, you're working the entire game not just to best him by strength, but to prove that the bonds between humans and Pokemon are important, a theme of nearly all Pokemon games. In our top 5 Pokemon games video, I said that Hugh was one of the best rivals the series had to offer, and I still believe that to be true. Hugh, despite having a doofy name, has an awesome character arc fighting Team Plasma to get his sister's Purloin back. Throughout the story, you work closely with Hugh and more often than not, fight alongside him instead of fighting against him. He feels like he's invested in what's going on and how things are going to turn out, which is a problem I have with a lot of rivals in the Pokemon games. Gen 4.
Gary motherfucking Oak. It's hard to outdo this smug motherfucker. He's a douche to Professor Oak, he chooses the Pokemon you'd be weak against, he shows up when you least expect it and wrecks your shit, and to top it all off, the douche ends up being the champion of the Kanto League. You wanted to beat his candy ass for showing up all smug with that music. Alright, so I'm gonna go across Nugget Bridge and son of a bitch! Like N, Gary represented a slightly skewed idea about Pokemon, prioritizing strength over bonds. You have to have a little sympathy for Gary though. I mean, sure, maybe you killed his Raticate on the SS Anne and then bothered him at its grave, and maybe you ruined his dream of being the strongest trainer in Kanto. But he had it coming, right? Right?
This was a tough decision to make. At a glance, Silver's character arc isn't super great. Just some young thug that ends up changing his ways in the end, right? Wrong. You see, Silver's backstory and his growth as a character are very subtle, but are crazy deep once you know what's really going on. Silver, as it turns out, is Rocket Leader Giovanni's child. Maybe with this lady. This is revealed with a special event Celebi that you get. The event explains that Giovanni abandoned Silver once Team Rocket had to go into hiding. This explains Silver's disdain for Team Rocket as an abandoned child of its leader. Later on in the game, you're able to fight Silver as he trains in the Dragon's Den. In his party, he has a Golbat. After you fight him a certain amount of times, you'll notice that his Golbat has evolved into a Crobat. This is a friendship-based evolution that signifies Silver's growth as a character from an abandoned thug to a loving Pokemon trainer.
Thanks for watching. Which Pokérivals stuck out to you the most? Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know. Also, check out these other sexy-ass videos.